Hello, everybody. Welcome to The Good, Bad, the Ugly. I'm Sal.
I'm Ethan.
I'm Ben.
And I'm Tiffany.
This is the show where we take 3 random comics from my long box, and then we compare them and talk about which one's the good, which one's the bad, and which one's the ugly. I know who's going to be the ugly. But let's get into it. So these are the books we've picked. The theme is big, beefy dudes, I think, or more or less. I wanted to talk about Terminator number 1 from Dark Horse Comics. This is the first Terminator book from Dark Horse Comics. That's it. Vengeance of Bane number 2. But they're separated by a number of years.
Yeah.
So they're basically like separate graphic novels. And Cable number 2.
Yeah.
Oh, that's number 2. I was trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
number 2. See?
I thought that was the 2nd of June.
Look.
No.
And there's going to be one on the 3rd of June and the 4th of June.
Why does it say June then? I guess it's 2.
That's the month that came
June
out.
issue.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Ben, you volunteered to explain what happened in Terminator the Tempest.
Go back!
Shit. So, in Terminator the Tempest, you've got people in the future. That's right. It's the future. And the Cyberdyne War is still going on. It's kind of fun because you've got all these great future soldiers and they're fighting against Skynet. And Skynet is like almost defeated because this is after John Connor already sent the Terminator and Kyle Reese into the past.
Yeah.
But I don't think this is after Terminator 2. I think this is between them.
This is a year before Terminator 2 came out. So for all they're concerned, there is no Terminator 2.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. And they're breaking into a Skynet facility that apparently houses not the prototype temporal displacement device, but an advanced version of that. It's not anything crazy like we have the T-1000.
No.
They're just
Because they
regular
don't know
Terminators.
about that.
No.
But
Never invented it.
But there are 3 of them, or 4?
Right.
there are 3 Terminators themselves.
Yes.
Yeah, well, there could have been more.
Yeah.
Too.
Yeah.
But, and there's the other thing.
The other thing, who is actually a...
Janitor?
He was a man who Skynet captured and then altered and turned into like a cyborg that works for them.
Where did they say
I did
that?
not understand that.
Well,
No,
that's because
that's
he's got a scar. In his
No,
face.
I had to go back and actually do research on this issue, and in fact, he is a regular guy.
Wow.
See, that's horrifying.
Yeah, and they didn't even bother to contextualize who he was
No.
in any way.
No.
At first, I thought it was just a rogue Terminator that was hiding and watching him.
I thought the
like
same thing.
Gollum. No.
Like, no, I'm not one of the attack mode Terminators. I'm a maintenance bot.
Exactly.
So
Yeah.
I'll just report this to my supervisor, and then they'll clean up the mess, and I'll go about surveilling.
Why would they
things.
build that?
I guess John mentions in the movie that there are humans who help with waste disposal,
Yes.
with the bodies. And so I guess they took that idea and they took it a step further
Mm-hmm.
and made them like part of the machine.
Yeah.
Which does make
Yes.
sense.
I guess.
I didn't get
It makes-
that at all.
No,
Makes
from
more
this.
sense than them just using humans for labor, since they're machines.
Right.
And machines are better at labor than humans, just definitively.
Yeah,
Right.
Because they don't complain, they don't need pay, they
They
don't
can't
need to eat or
rebel.
sleep.
or die.
Excuse me, we all remember the story of John Henry, though, right?
A man versus machine. How he did, in
Yeah,
fact.
some men
and he died
can
though.
defeat machines.
But he still won.
But they could
still
build.
won
They could
by a
rebuild that
lot.
machine though. They
Yeah,
can't
but that-
make any more John Henrys.
Yeah, but that machine could just keep going. You're
Yeah.
like, oh, John Henry died? Guess what? I'm still pounding
Yeah, well,
away.
yeah. Here's the
But,
jackhammer.
but while he was hammering on the mountain, he got work done. They don't care that he died.
Parts of the team get taken out by little, one of the parts of the team gets taken out by a little, like, it looks like a dog robot.
Yeah.
But even
It's
like
like a beetle.
sniffs, it makes sniffing noises.
Yeah, and they think it's cute, and then it blows their head off. And they're like, oh, well, right, this is Skynet. We can't
Oh, everything's
trust anything.
dangerous. Yeah.
Yeah.
Everything in this machine is deadly. So they break in, they get sent back in time, and Koufax stays behind to make sure that not only do they get through, but that nothing else gets through.
Right.
Guess what? Koufax fails.
Hard. Because and why did they choose Kovacs? I guess
because there was the other guy with him. Remember, there's like him
that's right.
and the other dude was supposed to watch him. And I guess
And-
they didn't expect
and
there
he's
to
like-
be Terminators.
He's
there.
How
also
could
like
they
a
not expect
scientist
that?
guy,
Because-
so he's supposed to I
Know
think
how it
he
works.
programs it to send them.
Right, but
Like they don't know how to make it work.
no.
And remember, they're under the impression that like the master control, that's what they called it, was destroyed.
Right.
So
Yeah.
I think they assumed that they're like, well, they're not going to be any more Terminators.
Right,
Yeah,
the
they're
war's
not
over.
effective
Except there's like
anymore.
thousands of Terminators.
Yeah, but
Why would they
they're out-
assume there aren't any Terminators?
Well,
They're
that's
out
it.
there.
They're isolated into like different areas that are like autonomous now.
Yeah.
And I think they figure like, well, they're only like in these areas, and we killed all the ones here.
Right.
But then one came through the wall because I guess they missed one.
They
Well,
missed.
no,
or
it's
something.
the janitor that awoke the others because he's on a
Yes.
program to be like, hey, these people are doing
Yeah.
something, and it reported to a main computer. The computer
Yeah.
said, all right, well, there's nothing we can do. He's like, well, I can bring up the Terminators. And the computer says they're not online yet, but you won't get the maximum
they're not-
efficiency. And
they're
they're
not
like, it doesn't
done.
matter.
Right, they're not
We won't
finished.
get 30, but we'll still get 3.
Yeah, which is
it's weird because they go to a lot of trouble to explain how like their bio generation, whatever, is not finished yet, but they look totally normal.
for all intents and purposes.
Well,
they're
I think
the
Terminators.
other
3 of them,
ones.
the others aren't.
The other
Like
ones
if they
weren't
put
done.
the energy into just finishing 3 real
That's
quick.
right.
That's it.
Yeah.
But if you'd woken up the other ones, it would have been a horror show.
Okay.
Which I would like to see.
It would
That'd
be
be kind of neat.
it would be like the Cenobites came.
Yeah, that'd be kind of cool. That's more effective, I
I
think.
don't have eyes!
Because they horrify
They
you.
can't go back in time though.
No, they
My
can't.
torso is split open!
You're
You
good.
can see everything!
Don't worry about it.
They did do one
horrifying.
So then,
It's
Yeah.
very sad.
So
Alright, so they, the Terminators get into the room. Kofax tried to destroy the temporal displacement machine, or the time machine, I'm just gonna
Yeah,
call it
time
there's a
machine.
time machine.
And he messes it up a little bit so they can't properly get the coordinates for sending back in time, but they can still go back in time.
Yeah.
And they torture him and break bones in his body until he gives up the information of where he sent
Exactly.
them.
Yeah.
So you see the team in Los Angeles, and they're all naked, and they're like, we have to, get ourselves equipped and go take care of these things. And then one team member, the team leader's like, aren't you forgetting a small detail? And she looks at the guy like, a small detail?
Or her head's like in front of it. Like,
Yeah. There's a lot of shots like that in this book of like naked people being like covered,
Obscured in some
Yeah.
way so
or
they
like
can.
Like the
not having nipples for no
like the
reason
Terminators.
Well,
because they
it's 'cause
can't
there's a
draw
shadow
them. Right,
or
there's a
something.
shadow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Skynet's still a thing.
Yep.
Or Cyberdyne is still a thing.
And I guess their goal is to stop it.
Yeah, the team's plan is they're going to go back in time and kill key members of Cyberdyne.
Right,
Yeah,
so
it's-
it's Terminator 2.
It's Sarah Connor's plan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Before
only
she had it.
it only doesn't involve Sarah Connor at all,
Yeah.
and the war's over.
So
Right.
they all break apart. Like the human team breaks apart and is like, all right, acquire weapons, acquire a place to stay, acquire a vehicle. We're gonna get this done. And then the Terminators come back in time, and it's 4 of them plus Kofax. They brought Kofax through.
Yeah, and you're like, why did they?
Well, because
do
he
that?
hadn't yet told them.
Well, no, he told them all the
He gave
information.
them the info.
No.
That's why they're
Yes,
there.
he did. The only reason they brought him is so that one of the Terminators could punch his fist into his guts and pull out a gun.
But
Like a
then he
cool-
also gives up the information.
Right.
Yeah.
He does give them more information. Like finally, he tells them the rest. He's like,
Yeah.
well, I'll tell you the rest when we get to the
Yeah.
past.
Yeah.
Yes.
Ugh.
Yeah. So he serves 2 purposes.
Yeah.
He's a vessel.
Yeah, and a stoolie.
Yeah. And it wasn't clear to me that he did give up the location. I wasn't sure how that worked because
I got the impression he sang like a canary.
he
Yeah.
gave up the target, I guess.
Yeah, he gave up like who's gonna be gunned for and where they're going to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is all they needed to know.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, now they're going for the same target.
Yeah. All right.
I enjoyed this.
I enjoyed it too.
Really?
Because like
Yes.
I knew going into it that it was supposed to be under the guise of not having a second Terminator movie, and it's
Yeah.
like these people were handed this franchise essentially being like, where would you go from here?
Yeah.
Probably thinking we shouldn't use Sarah Connor because that is
because we
done.
just did,
Yeah.
yeah.
Right.
So like they are like, you know what? If there's like a time machine like that they had, maybe they had another one. Like I appreciate what they did with this. Like they created this like band of characters instead of focusing on one individual or a couple of like individuals. Like
Yeah.
create like a more dire situation. They have a good plan. They are trying to solve the problem of being like, well, yeah, just because we defeated, the main Skynet AI doesn't mean that like it's all over. You know,
Right.
like they're like, no, this didn't stop anything. We need to go back and prevent it from happening.
Right. But for me, that's boring because it's like when they blew up the Death Star at the end of Jedi, that means they destroyed the Empire. Obviously, they didn't, and there's plenty of pockets of resistance. And if you read
there's plenty of
the
books.
hundreds of books that are
Expanded
available,
universe.
you could make yourself blue in the face finding out all the intricate details of how the Empire did not get destroyed. But as far as movies go, if they made if George Lucas like in 1992 was like, oh, and here's the rest, and like made another movie about like the Alliance trying to like jockey for position and power, and then like people in the newly built Senate who are Empire sympathizers were like, excuse me, just because you blew up a base doesn't mean that you get to be Emperor of the universe. Like that's boring. They won. They defeated.
But there's gunfights and stuff.
Yeah.
And they rip a gun out of a guy's stomach.
My major complaint is, why do you have to go in the past? Isn't it cool enough to be in the future.
No, because you need to prevent that future from
But isn't
happening.
it cooler to
But
just
hang
fight
on.
Terminators
Well,
with
James
plasma
Cameron would
rifles?
disagree with you
Yeah.
because he did the exact
Same thing.
goddamn
A year
thing in
later.
the
No,
movie.
he just did that because it's cheaper to go back in time.
I'm just saying,
Well,
he
yeah.
did the same thing in Terminator 2, which you love, and they didn't even know that was
Yeah,
going to exist.
those are 2 stories, not 1,000 of these books.
Yeah,
So,
but this
this is
isn't
the
1,000 that
first
we're
one.
reading. This
Yeah.
is the first
Well,
one.
but it's
and
gonna be 1,000.
Yeah.
not only
No.
do you get the 3 Terminators going back, you also get a team of people from the future rather than just one-on-one.
But they don't have plasma rifles.
It doesn't matter. You also have a female lead on the human
The
team.
T-800
Yeah.
killed at least 17 police officers in a police station where they had assault rifles.
Are they from the future though?
No.
Did they know what was going on or what to expect?
What
Did
is-
they know how
what's
to
this-
destroy a Terminator?
What's this ragtag team gonna do against 3 Terminators?
I'll tell you what, they're gonna win, Sal.
I was intrigued by the concept. I was not happy with the execution. I thought the
execution?
writing was garbage.
It was a little sloppy. I thought
thought-
the writing wasn't terrible.
I didn't think it was terrible
I
either.
could not stand
I thought it was-
made me crazy.
I thought it was frustratingly distinct and
Yeah.
specific. Like, they kept referring to the Terminators by their names, which are, of course, number designations, and
No.
that was maddening.
They referred to just the one.
No, there were... Oh, yeah, that's right. But why just the one?
I think it's to establish that he's not a Terminator.
No, there's another guy that's like 1X324.
Yeah, I think that's him.
I don't remember.
I think that's him, and I think it's just a way for them to distinguish. They're like, he's not a T anything.
All right.
You know what
Well,
I mean? Like,
it's-
don't.
I
They're
found-
setting us up to find out
I
that.
agree with Sal. I found it obnoxious, even if there's an explanation.
No,
it was like
everything makes sense in
weird
the
and
story.
annoying.
Everything
Yeah.
makes sense,
Everything
and,
does
and
make
it's, and it
sense.
goes
I
in
would
linear
agree, but
order,
it
and I
makes
totally
sense.
get it. I just don't care.
All right,
Yeah.
how about the
Fair
art?
enough.
Yeah.
The art was... I knew what era this came from. I thought it was fine.
I thought it was good.
I thought it was the best out of these 3 books,
What?
and I'll explain later on
Yeah,
why you're
we'll-
wrong.
We'll talk about why. I disagree. I think it's good.
I'll explain later on
I thought
why you're wrong.
I thought the art was like I didn't notice it being bad, and there were moments that I actually enjoyed of it.
Yeah.
So but they're also I don't know. I didn't like the character designs, but I think that's just like personal taste. I don't think it was objectively poorly drawn. I just didn't really care for the style.
Right.
Ethan, what happened in Vengeance of Bane?
Nothing. I'll tell you what happens. Bane's in prison, and then he gets out.
All right.
That's literally the entire book. I will say, I mean, I really don't want to go into detail, but he does develop like a kind of good plan for getting out. He is addicted to venom, and he's like suffering withdrawal symptoms from the venom.
Including debilitating pain.
Yeah, he gets beat up by a random.
Yeah,
like,
it's a supervillain from
Yeah.
Batman's rogues
Yeah.
called the KG Beast.
Yeah. He's also like,
who like
doughy.
sucks. Yeah, he's doughy, and that's
Yeah.
why the KG Beast defeats him. So he's
Yeah.
like at his lowest point.
Right.
Is the idea, I guess, and then he like finds a reason to
Bulk up again.
bulk up again and look exactly the same as he did when he was on Venom. So apparently, you don't actually need Venom to become superhumanly
Strong.
gigantic and strong.
You see
just
6 months of
6
people
months
leaving
in
you alone.
isolation.
Yeah, well, look. We all saw Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Yeah.
If Iroh can do it,
Right.
Then Bane
Anybody
can
then
certainly
Bane
do
can
it.
do it.
Yeah, but then he gets way bigger than Iroh. He gets as big as he
But
was.
Iroh's a grandpa!
Yeah, he does things that should not be physically possible.
Yeah.
And don't
Yeah.
forget about the fact that Bane befriends a guy who's a rat man.
Oh yeah, the
Yeah.
Rat Man. How could
And
I forget the
he
Rat
eats
Man?
rats.
And Bane eats rats too, just like
Yeah.
Batman in Frank Miller's
By the
universe.
way, for the character that is like the friend to rats and trains them and shit to be like, here, eat my rats. Is
Yeah.
food.
No. I don't think he's friend to them.
Yeah, he just
He
uses
just
them.
uses them.
He loves rats. He kisses
Does he love
one.
He names one.
Yeah, they're friends.
They're delicious.
Yeah, but he also
and
he's not that attached.
Well,
He
here's the
knows.
thing.
Well, he
feeds them
understands
to-
the difference.
that
he's-
rat
yeah,
was
yes.
a dick.
He's never eaten them. He even said, I hear they taste like chicken.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He's like a farmer.
Yeah.
He's like, I love my cows,
but I
and
love
I love
slaughtering.
how they taste. Like they have.
I hear
this-
people
when
love
you grow up
them.
on a farm, like
Yeah.
you develop this thing where it's like, yeah, I really like them, but they're food though.
Right. Never forget
They are
that.
below
Yeah.
us.
Yeah.
I could still love something that's like beneath me on the food chain.
Yeah. And then make it part of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's who he is.
Yeah.
There's a guy who is paralyzed,
Mm-hmm.
but when electricity goes near him, he becomes unparalyzed.
Yep.
And he's part of the plan, and he's in the book too. And
Fair.
He
That's
too is there.
That is an accurate description of what happens.
And there's a psychiatrist who's trying to help him.
Yeah,
you know,
who gets like written out halfway
Right,
through
like
the book.
seemingly for no reason, he's trying to
I think
help
he's just
him.
being a really helpful guy.
It's weird though because there's a
gives him
plot
a
twist that makes no
I didn't
sense.
think he
Where
gave him the shiv. I thought that was an icicle.
Yeah.
no, what?
What?
An
Yeah.
icicle and a bear? Wouldn't it melt?
I thought it was the icicle too. That has vexed me ever
Yeah,
since
it
I
was-
first
I
read this
thought
book.
I thought when he was getting reamed out by the warden, I thought they mentioned the shiv.
Yeah, they did.
They did, and they don't make it clear. Like he doesn't like say that like I put it in the bear.
No.
Yeah.
Like, but
Yeah,
it's
he would
like
go to
he
jail.
doesn't say like, well, I didn't put it in the bear either.
Yeah,
He
no.
almost like accepts responsibility for it.
Yeah.
It's like
which
giving-
implies that he put it.
But
there.
it could have been that he was
Yeah.
accepting responsibility for giving him
Anything.
a method for concealing
a
shiv.
bear.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
I gave him this bear, and then Bane used that bear to conceal
How
a
did
deadly
Bear
weapon.
get a shiv? How did Bane get a shiv into it? Did
What?
he?
How-
That's just it. I assume.
What kind of shiv looks exactly like an icicle that fits in a bear?
Yeah.
Shivs kind of look like that because they're like hand sharpened, so they're not like great. with,
They
like-
can be, but that one looked like the icicle that was hanging outside his room.
The other thing is we see every
How did he get an
agonizing...
icicle?
It was
Here's the thing.
foreshadowing.
We see
How did
every
he get an
agonizing...
icicle in isolation?
We see every agonizing detail
not
of
isolation.
Bane's plan, except where he gets this shiv in the bear head.
Yeah.
And so the fact they didn't show us makes it
But look at his
deliberately
his
baffling.
window. He can't
Yeah,
get
you
his
can't
hand
get.
out.
You
there.
I
can't
know,
get an
but
icicle from.
I honestly, when I reread it, I was trying to figure out where it came from. I don't know. We have to move past the
No.
Yeah. So
No,
Bane's
this is the
also-
serious flaw with this
It's
book.
confusing.
Bane is also really good at sewing. You see. Yeah. So anyway, he gets out.
He gets out, yeah.
And it's kind of cool the way he gets out.
Yes.
Because
Yeah.
he has this intricate plan. He gets everyone involved. He gets the KG Beast on his side, which is cool.
Yeah.
He defeats him.
Yes,
Yeah.
which
After
is
bulking
which
up.
Klingon proverbs will prove is how you get someone on
Right.
your side.
Right.
He made a friend.
He did make a friend.
And they're like all these people like, yes, go Bane. Like they're all like sacrificing themselves to help him, which is
Yeah.
kind of cool because he's like charismatic and brilliant.
Well, and he
so
defeated
forth.
Batman.
Right,
he
and
defeated
they're also
Batman.
like, I mean, he's probably gonna die.
Right.
Well, but they hope he doesn't because they're like,
I know.
if he does, then he can be like my avatar.
But that
like,
was for me.
yeah.
I was like, that's why they're not going. Well, I mean,
well,
Well,
they
yeah,
would die.
I would die. Yeah, I can't go.
But Bane
anywhere.
might.
No one can swim.
Bane broke the Batman. He might make it.
Yeah, and he does it by taking a route. He says there's two. This is kind of cool. He says there's two ways off the island. Two ways to swim.
Yeah.
One way is like basically impossible, and the other way is impossible. And he takes the impossible way, of
Yeah.
course.
Yes.
And he, of course,
Succeeds.
and
Yep.
makes it.
Yep.
Then, so that's okay. So that's the first part. That's the part of the book where I said nothing happens. It's not nothing, but it is. It dragged for me.
Really?
It was just like, is
Yeah.
Batman gonna be in this book? Or what? Yeah.
See, I didn't think so.
And then Batman does show up in the book because Bane goes after. He's going after the source of the venom.
Yes. So yeah, Bane's whole plan is he's moved past the drug that
Yes.
he's addicted to. And
Well,
now
he
he's
hasn't
trying-
moved past it because now
Well, he's
he
trying to-
has to like
he has to defeat
it.
yeah, he's
Yeah.
moved
But
past
he's not
Batman.
addicted anymore.
Yeah. So he wants to take out the venom distribution
Yes,
again.
and he has moved past Batman.
Yeah.
Because he and Batman start, fighting these hulked up guys who he gets the a lead to as to they have venom.
And
Yes.
Batman is being a royal dick.
Thank
Batman's
you.
being an asshole to him.
Like, can
except
we talk about that?
Bane
except-
broke his back.
yeah. Also, Bane killed people and stuff, and now he just wants to be like, oh, but I'm off the venom, so it's okay. Like the venom made me
Yeah.
do it. And Batman's like,
But
no.
No,
was
it
it-
didn't. You
I'm
made
sorry.
him do it.
Do you remember when Batman was on drugs?
Yeah.
And then first of all, Batman didn't kill anyone while he was in venom.
No,
And-
but he let somebody die.
yeah. Bane murdered people with his hands and also broke Batman's spine.
Yeah,
Then
and he's-
carried his body to the top of a building and
he's
then
like, "Look,
threw it off.
I'm not making excuses for what I did.
Yes,
but
he
I'm
is.
trying. But no, he's not. He even says it.
does.
I'm not making excuses. What I did was wrong.
Yeah,
Right.
But then he also
But-
says the venom. That was the venom doing
But
that.
the venom empowered me, and I'm going to stop
No,
the venom.
he very specifically says that he meant to do everything.
Yes.
But the venom got him caught.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, the venom, idled his mind enough and he was caught.
Right.
But now he's just like, I'm not interested in you.
Yeah.
I'm looking to get venom out of here.
Yes.
And, that's where Batman should be like,
Batman's
You
like,
know what?
yeah,
Good
no,
cause.
I'm already on that right now. I
Yeah,
don't need
a criminal
you
to help
breaking
me.
out of prison.
Which is very in character for Batman.
Yeah, I think it's
he's
totally
not
in
going to team
character.
up with
I
the
don't-
Joker, for example.
Exactly.
The
I
Joker's
don't-
like,
Scarecrow was doing
but
that.
he's being antagonistic.
that's it.
Yeah,
he
well,
is, yes.
yeah, because the dude broke his back. I'd be antagonistic. I don't care if he became like a missionary in Haiti or whatever. If he came back and was like, I'm cool now, I'd be like, you're never gonna be cool to me,
How
man.
many many bones do you think Batman's broken?
Yeah, those are all criminals in the pursuit of justice.
I'm just saying.
Bane's
Right,
a dick.
because Batman is certainly not a vigilante who breaks the law all the
Batman
time.
is-
Batman is my protagonist in this story. If I'm reading
Well,
Batman,
that-
I'm on
in this
board.
story, Bane is.
I think,
Bane is the-
I think
That's
the
fair.
issue is the fact that I think Ben and I are coming from the perspective that Batman should be above this, and even if he doesn't agree with
Right.
Bane, he shouldn't be antagonistic
Right.
and like getting into this like schoolyard verbal tussle with
Yes.
him. Like he should be like, we'll talk about this in a minute.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
instead he eggs him on, and
Yeah.
it's like. I have a hard time imagining Batman like not being able to remove himself from that situation and like be more calculating about it.
Yeah.
I found it odd. I found Batman unnecessarily dickish.
Yeah.
But I think Sal's point is that like Batman like gets to be emotional about Bane because of how far like Bane pushed him farther than like anyone.
Yeah, and for no good reason, he's fucking Bane.
Right, but like also,
Like Batman's as bitter about it as you are.
but like I mean, I
Like Bane, Bane broke my back.
You
God
invent,
damn it!
It's like inventing Doomsday to kill Superman. Superman had a real problem with Doomsday. Every time he sees him, he's like, "Oh no!" Because Doomsday is a plot device created to kill Superman.
Right.
He's not like a character. And Bane, when he was created, was not really a character. Although even Bane had Vengeance of Bane 1, which established his origins, kind of.
yeah.
But still, it was like, here's a dude who could beat Batman. That's why he's here. And then
Yep.
Batman's like, screw you, and now you want to come back?
Well, I mean, I really feel like Batman should take into account that while Batman was away, Bane had to deal with Azrael. I
Yeah.
just feel like Batman should at least
Yeah.
consider
Batman
that.
also had to deal with Azrael, though. He had both problems.
So, like, that should be like a bonding
Yeah,
bro
but we
moment.
both agree
Wow.
Azrael
That
sucks,
guy
though,
was a
right?
dick.
Right?
Well, if Bane had brought up Azrael, then maybe.
Yeah, maybe Batman would have been like, well, we can all agree Jean-Paul was a bad idea.
And actually, he could try to knock Batman down a peg by being like, "Well, you."
Well, you didn't even...
That was your fault.
You didn't even ask Dick to take care of you. You had that blonde
Yeah.
lunatic take over.
Yeah.
He had
Fair
knives.
enough. Yeah, he had knives on his hands. Why?
And he killed people too, right? Kind of.
He killed Abattoir, but
killed
who
one
cares?
guy, yeah.
Oh,
In
I
Vengeance
like it a
Day.
lot.
Yeah, it's good.
I wasn't
Yeah.
a fan.
Really?
I felt it was inconsistent. I feel like it was a sad attempt at sales art, and I feel like the coloring really like took away from this. I mean, like it'd be fine sometimes, and you see stuff like this, and I'm like, what happened? Where like it's amateur hour.
I agree it was inconsistent.
Like it's completely
Yeah.
like
But I
that's
did-
what I like about this. It's consistent.
It is
Yes.
consistent.
Yes.
I feel it's consistently not as good.
I don't know, like, cause like there's too many moments where like we'll see things that are totally like normal and a little more traditional, and then you get like these moments where there's like caricatures and like it's just I don't think the art is.
They are technically Batman villains.
I know I understand that, but
Like,
like
Ratman has to look like a Ratman.
Right. I'm just saying I feel like the artist could have done a better job of blending their style a little bit more.
Yeah,
to
okay.
make it all like a little more smooth. But like
Yeah, I think that's
this
fair.
really takes me out of it for some
The bear?
reason. The
Bear?
bear. It's just so cartoonish.
Ozitio? Or
Yeah.
whatever his name is.
Yeah.
It's just such
I
a
think-
cartoon.
I think the artist was going for something,
Yeah.
and it just doesn't work.
It,
Yeah.
I think he
didn't find it.
I think he got what he was looking for, and
I'm-
I agree it's weird.
Right, and here's the thing, I'm not saying it's bad. I'm
No.
not saying it's bad art. I just found, like, I accepted this more than this. Like, the art stood out more. It didn't blend quite as seamlessly with the whole story.
Yeah.
I will say this had my favorite image of everything that we read, and that was
Was it him going, no?
Mother!
it was a giant teddy bear
Yeah.
crushing Batman's head against a
That was
Yeah,
building.
cool.
but see, that bear,
Doesn't look anything
That's
like
a real
Ozzy.
teddy bear.
it's a teddy bear.
Yeah.
That's not a cartoon.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Fair enough.
That's
So, like,
true.
that's, like, I had
If the
issues.
bear had looked like this later in the book.
Yeah.
Well, that's just it. The guy didn't get actual.
It's a
Ozzy
different
to-
bear.
Had to
But
look
I
different.
also appreciate, like, the panels. Like,
Yes.
but then this is gone. We never see anything quite like
Well,
this
it's a
again.
dream.
Well, because they.
I know,
yeah,
but
they
this
do.
to me indicates that the artist is a little more creative, and then I just get a pretty standard
Right.
book.
The real question is, what happened in Cable 2, Tiffany?
So, something
Ouch.
happened in Cable 2.
Sure
Yeah.
did.
Could you tell us what it is?
Could you describe it in a way that a human being
would
would
understand.
understand?
I think we would all have trouble with that.
So,
I read this one twice. Because I don't understand what the hell.
we are in a future.
Yeah.
How far in the future?
Far enough.
I believe it's 2,000 years. It's like impossibly far in the future.
We're in the future, and Cable has teamed up with the Clan Chosen, who is made up of characters who I think mostly are introduced in these books.
In the Cable series, yes.
And they are people who will eventually become part of like Cable's long and storied past, present, and future, essentially. and they're attempting to. Isn't it a time travel book? We almost did all time travel books.
Yeah.
If this was a time travel book.
Yeah.
It's
Jesus.
literally it's a group busting into a facility
Who has
get
a time machine?
who has a time machine to gain access to that time machine to send Cable and Kane to the past.
Yes.
To accomplish something.
Yeah, it's like a cracked mirror
Now,
version. Of
unfortunately,
Yes.
the future team, whatever they are,
Chosen.
the
The
Canaanites,
clan chosen.
Oh yes,
No,
you're thinking of the Canaanites.
the Canaanites.
The bad
Unfortunately, they can't send anybody back as well.
No,
Otherwise,
yeah,
it
there's
would
no
be
Terminator.
except they
Except they
do.
are- they are-
They do. They send Sinseared back ahead of time to take care of a guy who like.
Is that who that was?
Well,
they
no.
were talking about Sincere, and I was like, wait, is
Sincere, and
Sincere? Which one is Sincere?
It's this guy. He goes
Okay.
back in time and he's looking for
Tolliver.
Yeah,
Tolliver.
Oh, Tolliver. of
But like
course.
he apparently screwed up their plans, and like they desperately want Apocalypse to win.
Yes.
And so like this guy's
Oh.
going back to like take vengeance and to make sure that it happens. So they like don't even care what Cable and his crew are doing because they're like,
We've got this.
Yeah,
By the way,
they probably won't succeed in going back in time, but even if they do,
It
it's
does.
already
It's
over.
futile.
It
Yes.
don't matter.
By the
By the
way,
way-
they could give Sincere a little bit more subtlety. Maybe he would be able to accomplish his goal instead of shouting at everyone.
Well, I mean, well, look, he's wearing a trench coat and.
Yeah.
I would like to speak to the one who was called Tolliver.
You don't even know.
What?
I mean, he doesn't really need to be subtle because he has a giant like sword or spike thing.
Yeah, this
or
guy's like,
whatever.
oh, my apologies, sir. Be like, no,
No.
this man is a
This
lunatic.
guy just wants to look at the tapestries. He just wants
Yes.
to know if they have any.
Yes, but if you are a man from the future,
Then I am Mickey Mouse.
So they do bust in. They use a garbage truck essentially, and we got our team, which includes like Hope and Dawn Silk and Boke, who's a synthetic organic being.
Oh, I thought it was Bok.
Bok,
like a
Boke.
chicken.
No, I thought it was
Bok,
Boke.
Bok.
And then
Bok.
Is Bakaw on the team as well?
and then
Bok, Eric.
and then a wave displays being named 11. But we also can't forget my favorite character named Tetherblood. Let's not forget about Tetherblood.
Which one is Tetherblood? Because I
Him.
didn't know who any
This
of
is-
them were.
okay.
That's Black
Nope.
Cable.
This
for
is
Bok.
Tetherblood, Hope, Dawn Silk, Bok,
Bok.
and then 11.
And
And this is
then
I
Kane.
think
Kane.
you're right. It's Bok, by the way.
Yeah,
But I
think
like
it is
Bok.
It's Boke.
Boak.
Right?
Boak.
So in their breaking into the facility, Boke ends up having to just utilize energy that he's absorbed and like destroys himself to help save them. But like he's not a person,
So you can build him
Cable's
again.
like, we'll just fix him up, and like Hope has a real problem
real
with that,
mad.
where she's just like, he's more man than you'll ever be.
Yeah,
guess
And we
you
get
liked
that line!
it's true. Yeah.
And
Maybe you'll see her t-shirt about it.
and see, this way, Cable gets to be like tortured
Yeah.
about something else because they
Except
imply he's tortured.
well, he is, because here's the thing about this. I assumed that this book, I was like, maybe if I kind of look into issue 1, I'll understand what's happening.
Yeah.
I am a fool because this is predicated off of I don't know how much other content that came before it.
Yeah.
Even though this is Cable number 2,
Right.
it's literally like you came into the 5th season, episode 12
Yep.
of like Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
You're like,
yeah, they want to establish like how rich their
Right?
universe is right off the bat.
Yeah.
I don't know anything. You really are assuming
A lot.
Like I appreciate when a book holds your doesn't hold your hand and lets you just kind of figure things out.
Yeah.
This is just like, hey, I did not go to any of my classes.
This is
And now I have
Yep.
a group final.
Yep.
And everyone knows what's happening. And I'm like, yeah.
It's
Yeah.
like that bad
Yeah.
dream you have where you show up to class
Yep.
and you haven't
Yeah.
studied any of the material.
That's what
You also
this
haven't
is.
gone to class.
Yeah,
Well,
and
it's
you're
just-
naked.
It's like when your hand holding thing. It's like
Yeah.
the equivalent of if some more layman books are taking a child's hand and crossing them in the street, it's instead blindfolding them, putting them in a car, driving to the woods, and leaving them.
Yeah, that's what this does.
Figure it out.
And go and by the way, you're both going to school.
Yeah.
Like,
Yep.
all right,
So
class starts at 15.
that's it. So then they eventually get to where they need to be.
Yeah.
And like they hook up 11 to the machine at the Tinex or the Tinex,
Yeah.
not to be confused with the watch brand Timex.
No,
Yeah.
but certainly not in any way referencing it.
Nope. And so Hope has to go through all of these possible past.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so we see like a Sentinel and Bishop, and we also see Scott and Jean, and they pick out where they're gonna go. And Kane's gonna go back, and then some Cable's like, I too am going because
like,
I've
who
got
asked you?
things to do.
Because the book's called Cable.
Well, I go back in time. That's kind of my thing.
Yeah.
I gotta do this.
By the way,
He
I don't
basically
appreciate
says
it.
that.
They make a reference to how Cable has a ridiculous goatee.
Yeah.
I take offense to that.
I don't know why.
Because I'm going to look like that one day.
Right. By the
Right
way,
after I drink about a million protein
Yeah.
shakes.
You're gonna look a lot like Deathstroke.
did anyone figure out who's narrating this?
Oh,
Kane is, right?
yeah.
Is it?
Yeah, I thought it was Kane.
Okay,
because
I
he
wasn't
talking about-
sure.
95% sure.
Yeah, because he talks about the past and how.
Thank
There's
you.
only one moment where I was like, okay, that's how you know it's Kane.
Yeah, because
you
he
can
says
tell the
Okay.
family.
he says something about like when I first met Cable.
Right?
I was like,
Yeah.
oh, Cable's not the narrator of his own.
I thought he was. So,
Yep.
but then for a minute I thought it was Tetherblood. I don't know why.
He also
Probably because you like that
references-
name.
I think he references being from the past, and someone else references that he is from the past.
Yeah.
So I put two and two
Yeah,
together.
alright,
Okay, he's
there
the only
you
one from
go.
the past.
Yep.
He thinks he's from the past. It's Kane.
And don't
Yeah.
forget that they also call Tetherblood T-Blood at
Yeah.
one
T-Blood,
point.
yeah.
I like.
They all have
I got this thing.
They have their name and they have their abbreviation.
Yeah.
And their languages.
Except for
they have
Hope.
curse words.
We'll
Yeah,
get
except
to
for Hope.
that.
Well,
I
also
love T's
Cable-
and blood. You might as well call me T-Blood.
And Cable is Dayspring also.
Well,
Yeah.
that's like he's
Okay.
related to them. Like he marries a woman whose last name is Dayspring, and they
Yeah.
have a kid who like is not a good person. I think.
It's not worth getting into.
Right.
Just,
Yeah.
yes.
But anyway-
Cable has many names.
Yes, and that's one of them. But and so they go back in time, and they're going to talk to the professor, and they go to Grey Malkin, and it turns out it's underwater.
And they're stuck in this underwater facility. What do they do now? How are they get out of this bucket of cereal?
It's the abyss.
Yeah, we're just gonna do Cable in the Abyss now.
Sweet. I want that.
Could we also just...
Do you?
So there's this moment though in this book.
Which
Thank you.
There's many moments.
Well,
Oh,
hold on. I don't.
no.
No. You and I may have a different moment. There's this moment in this book in which Dawn Silk seemingly starts speaking in tongues,
Yeah.
and it tasked me. It tasked
I don't
me
even remember
until I
it.
figured it out, and it only took me talking to someone else that I was like, oh, she has an accent which comes out of nowhere, and then she doesn't use it again.
There you go.
Yeah.
So
well,
she's
because
talking-
only when it's really intense does she use.
So she's
Okay.
talking about the Flatliners and how they're still standing.
Oh,
Because the Flatliners are their enemy.
Oh, right.
Ta-da!
The Flatliners. Yeah.
See, I heard her speaking like Creole or some kind of bizarre
Yeah.
language earlier in the thing. I thought she had either a stroke or there was some Remember how they're like, oh, the electronic blast like is going to
Yeah.
short out the guys? I thought it shorted out her.
Right?
I thought she had some sort of cybernetic thing, and I'm like, oh, she's fried until they get her back online. Okay.
This is the reason why I didn't think she had an accent, because she says, go flong yourself.
Yeah.
Well, that's kind of an
And I was like-
accent because she doesn't say your. She says yourself.
Yourself. But, like, I also say that. I don't have an accent. I
Don't
know
like
everyone's
that.
going to disagree.
Yep.
Yeah.
But
Flong.
flong.
What's really funny, I didn't even notice that.
I
Because
was-
I was so
I noticed
confused
it.
But then Hope
by
says
all
flunk.
the words. in
Yes,
this
You
which
book.
is
dirty
another-
flunk.
yeah.
Yeah, they use different- they have
Yeah.
Variants on
Those
the
are
FL.
totally different swear words in the future.
Yeah, she uses the Q, yeah. You gotta...
And I had to look. I was like, are they the same? No, that one's a G and that one's a Q.
Or they forgot.
Or the letterer screwed up.
Yeah.
Or it's part of their accent. They
Yeah.
have different accents, so it comes out
Yeah,
different.
the G is a hard Q for them.
All I know is, I know that Cable was invented by Chris Claremont, and I know that technically Louise Simonson wrote him as an adult,
But
but I gotta tell
Fabian
you,
Nicieza took him in new different
but
directions.
not just that, but Art Thibbert, who draws this, apparently decided that he was just gonna be Rob Liefeld.
Yeah.
And I'm like, why? I mean, I know it's the 90s.
Because
people like
because
that
he was
shit.
selling crazy books back
But
then.
like, because Liefeld designs Cable, and then this guy's like, I'll just do
We'll
what
just
he
do that.
did.
Well,
So
because
everybody's
Cable
got-
wouldn't work in any other universe,
Everybody
right?
has
that design.
tiny feet, and they're always doing this.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh,
Well,
they're
Because they're very
powerful.
top heavy. Otherwise, they
Yeah,
fall
you
down.
got that enhances the look of their
Well, then
muscles.
why would
if
they
their
have
feet
such
are so
tiny
small.
feet?
So you can tell how big
how do
their
they do
muscles
their
are.
stunts?
Tony.
Because they look weird.
It's oh my god. Like, but like this page, like seeing this, them all in a circle, them all doing this, even if some of them who only have one gun
Are still holding out the other one.
Yeah.
Like, why? What
Because
do
they'll
you?
tip over otherwise.
It's for balance.
That's how you
Yeah.
put your action figures up.
That's right.
Yeah.
So yeah, Cable number 2. So
And there was a 6-page D&D ad.
There sure was.
was
That was
amazing.
really nice.
yeah, a little
There
more
was a
breathe.
nice break.
Yeah, I was able to breathe for like 3
I was
seconds
like,
while reading
oh,
this book.
look at these nicely drawn characters who must have rich histories that aren't as confusing.
And are detailed.
Look at
Yes.
the muscularity.
You know, but again, this is very detailed, but
is
in a
very
way
detailed.
that this is number 2.
Yeah.
Right? If I decided that I was gonna try and get into Cable,
Yeah, you're jumping in.
I would be like,
Nope.
can I return this?
Yeah, so clearly you are not in the target audience.
For Cable.
Because I think this book was written for people who don't give a fuck
Right.
about any of that,
Nope.
like, plot or
No,
common
they
sense
love
or
plot because
well,
there's so much happening.
Well, like explaining things, like you can follow along or not.
Yeah.
it really doesn't
I don't
matter
care,
because blah 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 blah.
That's why. I
That's-
bought a ticket to ride.
The amount of future speak,
Oh
the
my-
made-up bullshit
Oh,
words
yeah.
that they use.
Yeah, this
was
book might as well have been written by
inane.
Isaac Asimov.
And-
It was that rich of
Can
science
I ask
fiction.
you, who wears this?
Into a covert.
Remember, they rode in on a
garbage
garbage
truck.
truck
Yep.
into like a sewer section.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she's like, I'm gonna wear this.
Yeah.
I wear something that I would wear to
She's
the
in the
beach.
future. That's
how they dress.
That's how they dress.
No, it's not because these business people are also in the future,
well, they're business people. She's a warrior,
and they look like they're from the 80s.
Yes.
Which is ironic.
Look at those
because-
wonderful power
Yeah,
suits.
which is great because this is from the 90s.
Yep.
So no one is in their right time. So there you have it. We talked about 3 books that each feature beefy dudes.
Yeah.
Yeah, they-
Although it
And
almost
apparently
became
two of them.
it almost became a time travel book.
Almost.
Yeah.
But I mean, Bane has a flashback, so we could argue
It's-
maybe
yeah.
he goes
There's a
back
little
in
bit of
time.
time, yeah.
It doesn't
Yeah,
really
not
hold
really.
water. But which one's the good? Which one's the best book out of this? I think it's Vengeance of Bane.
I would say Bane as well.
I liked Bane the most.
I'm gonna say Terminator.
I also have to say Vengeance of Bane.
Okay. I knew I was gonna be outvoted. I knew that
It was
going
very
into
close.
it.
I thought Ben was going to say Terminator.
I thought so too. I'm like, oh no, how do we solve that problem? How do we score that circle?
No, I knew that I was going to be outvoted, but I'm still giving my vote to Terminator
fair.
because it's more cohesive.
Yes.
Oh, very much.
Yeah, Vengeance of Bane, you need to have known what happened before and care about what's going to happen later, and if you don't, no.
Yeah. It's also like 2 books in one, but I like both of them better than Terminator. So
Yeah,
that's the reason for my vote.
I like what happens in Terminator more.
Interesting.
It leaves me wanting more, but I thought there was a better compelling arc for Bane in this than
Yeah.
any of the characters in Terminator.
I liked watching Bane go through his struggle. I liked seeing him formulate his plan. He's actually more intelligent in this than he is in any appearance he has previously. And
He lives up to the
yeah,
height
he's a
of
master
his
strategist.
intelligence,
Like,
yeah.
I actually see that executed in this, unlike throughout Nightfall, where he's just like, yes, I will release all of Batman's villains. Truly, I am a brilliant strategist. Like, yeah, no, he'll be exhausted. You win. Like,
Yeah.
that's like, I will shoot him in the knee. And that will stop him from chasing me. Like, technically, yes, you're correct. But that doesn't make you a goddamn Napoleon. Like, that said, I dug Vengeance of the Bane too, and I enjoyed it. Like, I thought the Batman being in it was like a little extra mint on my pillow. Like, it was like, oh, and Batman too.
Well,
and
it's-
Batman's like, oh, and Bane, you
it-
suck.
It says Batman, so if Batman didn't show
yeah, he
up,
had to
the
show up
fact
at
that
some
he
point.
showed up so late, I was like, but it says Batman.
Yeah, but it's look how little it is.
Yeah,
Look how much bigger Bane is.
It's-
Yeah,
Yeah, it's
but
like
is
they're
this
trying
a
to make
Bane
it like-
title or is
It's
this
like
a
a
Batman title?
It's like a baby Bane title.
It's
like,
technically Batman, but you know, it's
Oh,
like
a Baneito.
because they don't have a Bane title happening right now.
That's right.
But like it's what
it's
it
basically a
would be.
Bane book.
Yeah.
Would you like more Bane books?
Yeah.
No.
Well,
The
that
answer
depends,
is no.
Ben.
No.
Did you
I
like
want
it?
I want more Terminator books.
Yes.
Fair enough. Well, don't worry, you'll get 1,000 more.
But like, here's the thing. I'm gonna argue that's not bad.
That there's
Oh.
1,000 more.
Oh,
It
definitely.
depends on what happens.
Here's the thing. We call it the good, the bad, and the ugly. I'm with Tiffany on this.
That's not the bad.
That's not bad.
It's
no.
not bad.
I agree.
It is really close
this
behind
is
Bane.
decent.
both. I think both bad and ugly
Is Cable 2.
are right here.
Yeah.
Are we all agreeing that
Cable's the worst.
Cable is the worst.
It's easily
There is
the worst. There's
no
no
doubt in my
argument.
mind that it is the worst.
Cable is just...
I do
Put-
think
put the board
Terminator's
towards me.
bad, though.
I didn't think it was bad, but I was bored. And if I'm bored reading a Terminator book, you have failed.
See, that's a shame because I was not bored.
I wasn't bored either.
That's fascinating.
I was bored and frustrated.
But see, you came at it from a different perspective. You already knew it was.
But
gonna
I
happen.
want more Terminators.
But no, you can't. You knew what the rest of these books held. We
No,
just
I don't.
We're enjoying this.
No, I researched them when I read this, and I went, I don't know what the hell's happening. What else happened?
I don't think,
Yeah.
but like to be fair, I don't think most Terminator books that Sal's ever read really wowed him.
No.
So he was going to say no to this no matter
I
what.
do like-
I
there's-
didn't. I was
there's
actually
one that I do
baffled
like.
as
Well,
to
I've-
why this
I've
was on.
never-
Yeah, we did
read-
a back issues on it.
Because I never read it.
read a
I wanted to
Terminator
know what it
book
was
in my
like
life.
about.
I did not like this book.
I wanted to like it. I was excited by it, and I think it very much encapsulates a lot of what Dark Horse was doing. And I think it's a bold book. It tried hard, and
bring it back over.
and it almost succeeds. I think that it's a great first entry, and it was a great debut for Dark Horse to be like, hey, we're doing Terminator.
Yep.
And I'm very happy with how it turned out. I'm just like,
And it is
gotta
light
say,
years better than Cable.
but I just liked the story of Bane more. I just had more fun reading it.
I think you also had more of a rich history with Batman.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I hate Bane. But I liked
is
this
true.
issue.
That
I
is
thought Bane's a
Because
stupid
Bane
character.
grows.
And Batman's
Yeah,
a
it
dick
does.
to
And
Bane,
Batman's a
and so would you be.
Of course.
Screw Bane!
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
But
I'm
everyone
on board with
agrees,
Batman.
Cable
Cable
sucks.
sucks.
No, to hell with you, Cable. You're the
Terrible.
worst. But hey, thanks a lot for hanging out with us and watching this episode of The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. And we'll see you guys next week with an all-new episode. I'm Sal.
I'm Ethan.
I'm Ben.
I'm Tiffany.
So long.
You know what else is cool about this? It's got a ad for
Comics.
Comic Zone on the back.